Hello, hello. Can you guys hear me? Oh, yes, I am unmuted. Hey, Vincent and Rock and Patrick and Brenda. Woo! Todd, good to see you. You can't tell I have a whole new setup here. All right, let me see here. Oh. Hello, Miss Ruth Ellen. Oh, okay. Cool, cool, cool. James, are you getting on?
How are you, Marianne?
Ruth Ellen, I'm okay.
Good.
Oh, look, I got a new bookshelf. I'm cleaning my office.
It looks great.
In the midst of everything here. But I actually have a different setup for my computer that you can see me on. And then I have a big monitor right over here. See this right here? Big monitor.
Awesome.
So I've always had that, but the stand that it's on, my computer was on, and now I don't know.
Awesome.
I've rearranged. But anyway, more to come. Yay. And Brenda's here. Nice. All right. I think Tom will be here any minute. Oh, is he? Okay. Tom is actually outside. Yay. All right. So we got a couple minutes left here. Do you guys write notes, like all kinds of notes? Like, do you have like hundreds of sticky notes? Oh my goodness, I need to go through all these.
You know, they have an app called Sticky Note.
No.
Yeah, and then you can just post it on your computer screen and you can hide it in your like little taskbar, and then you can click on it and there's your sticky note.
You know, you're absolutely right. I already knew that. But I have not been, obviously, I have not been using it. And then what I do is I just grab them all and stick them all together and think at some point I'll go look at them. All righty. Hang on, I got to mute for a second. Hey!
Hello, everyone.
Okay, it's 4:30. All right, you guys. All right. Tom is going to be on here in just a second. So I see Steve, and we got to see each other at the Leadership Mastery here. And can you guys hear other talking? I think there's other people. Hello, Diane. All right, hang on. I got to see Marinko play the drums. That was awesome. Hello, Daniel. All right. Oh, there's Denise. Hello, Peggy. Woohoo, Pamela. Okay, we're waiting for Tom. Do you want to say something, Denise? Do you want to say something?
I want to
I unmuted you. You're on the spot.
no, we just had an absolutely great weekend in Estes Park. And, what's really apparent for me is how many extraordinary leaders we have in longevity. And I was talking to a gal earlier this morning, and I had told her, Cheryl Morley just did a great job with her presentation over the weekend, and this gal, kind of looks up to me, and I said, here's the thing: is Cheryl and I both started out exactly where you're at right now. And she looked at me with these big eyes, and she says, and today, and I said that over the weekend, and she said, can I just ask you about what you said? And is it really true? And I said, no, yes, it's absolutely true. Because 15 years ago, I was that person that really wanted to be a leader. I didn't really know what to do. I didn't know how to be. I thought that I had to be like Tom, and I see in this gal, exactly where I was many years ago. And so I guess what I'm trying to say to you guys is that we all start from somewhere, and we all start at what we might call ground zero. But we all have to sort of, learn our way and climb our way up the ladder. And there's no secret to it. It's really just doing the hard work. And it is, to a certain extent, a numbers game, because you have to get in front of the people. And it's just going to be the one thing that you can't control is their timing. What you can control is your skills and you getting better at the skills. And so, so when we talk about a numbers game, I think that the fact that you've learned the coffee shop interview so well in 65 and a Wake Up, and you're practicing it every single day. And so what that does is it builds up the skills so much more quickly because you're putting it into action every single day. And so you're getting better and better, and you're getting, maybe a little bit riskier in what you're asking and what you're sharing with people. And you will soon find out sort of the sweet spot and what works for you. But you have to get in front of the people. That's just the fact. And so that's the part, that's the numbers game, is you just have to make more and more presentations. So, we all start somewhere, and we all have to go through the hard work and the learning the skills and figuring out what works for us and what doesn't. And that's not the part that we can sort of short wire. It's just, and people are always trying to figure out, like, what's the secret in network marketing. They spend hundreds and thousands of dollars to figure out what the secret is in network marketing and in leads and all this stuff. And here the thing is, let me just tell you, if there was a secret, somebody would have found out by now, and we would have all known it, right? But the secret is that you just got to go out and do it. And I talked over the weekend about the fact that there's a lot of people out there that just don't have the courage that you guys do. All of you on this Zoom, you're a special group of people. Wanting to be successful in network marketing takes it takes a different sort of person that is not going to get sidetracked by no's, and you know that the most important part of network marketing is the personal development, and that's what you're getting through 65 days in a wake up. And a lot of people, even though they may like the idea of network marketing, they may like the idea of residual income, they may not have it in them to get faced with that learning curve of hearing no after no after no, which does happen at the beginning when your enthusiasm is high, but the skills haven't kicked in right yet. And you know, there's that reptilian brain that has thousands and thousands of years of programming that wants to keep us safe, and that says, you know what, it's the fight or flight thing. And when you're faced with that, the prospect of fear of presenting it to somebody, a lot of people, especially adults, we don't like to feel uncomfortable like that. And so, you know, and so a lot of people, even though they may like the idea of network marketing, they're not willing to go through facing the fears and working through it. And so you guys are all a very special group of people, because not only do you see and appreciate network marketing and residual income, but you can also appreciate the personal development that happens in the process of building your business, which in my mind is one of the greatest gifts that we have in this company, is the gift of personal development. And so, you know, and being able to hang out with like-minded people. Over the weekend, you know, 300 people up in Estes Park, Colorado, and it was like camp, you know, except all of us are so positive, and all of us are, you know, so eager to learn that it really is such a great family to be a part of. So how's that, Marianne? Did we get him yet? I gotta take a breath.
I was here for about like an hour. So beautiful speech.
Good. We're already good. I'm not very good at like off the cuff, but I had to.
No, you did a good job. I would have interrupted you if I would have thought you were making a mistake, and I almost used a different term, and then I saw Steve Blackburn staring at me, so I chose a different set of words. So thank you very much. I feel very good about that. Very proud of myself.
Awesome. Okay. Hey, what's that mug say on that side?
That mug says, "Congratulations, you are a senior vice chairman at Longevity."
Wow, that was a little while ago, wasn't it?
Yeah, and the coffee that I'm drinking was in that coffee in those days, so it was very antique coffee. All right, this is Readers or Leaders. So this is a book on how to do social media that's a little better. This is The Power of Who. I just interviewed Bob Bodine, which was an unbelievable interview. You should watch it. He wrote another book called Two Chairs, and his whole premise is you get up every morning, which I do in sorts, and sit down with an empty chair across the room and talk to God, which is pretty cool. And I told you guys, I think on the show, that I actually keep a timer at times and set it for 1 hour just to remind myself to give it back to God during the day, because I am one of those guys that has a tendency to completely take over and mess everything up. And this latest book that I'm just reading is unbelievable, and it is called High Performance Habits by Brendan Bouchard. And his whole premise is every one of us, whether it's Todd Plexco, look at me, Todd, whether it's Vincent Cunningham, whether it is Jackie J.O., whether it's Diane, whether it's Stephen D. or Daniel Rhymes, whether it's Pamela Schwartz or Lanny Sharp. That's my screen here. Whomever it is, we are all equal. And the only thing that's going to set us up is our habits, because you can learn the skills.
And Vincent Cunningham, he's been paying so much attention, I could tell.
Yes, he is watching like a hawk, unless he's asleep, because his head's not moving much. So
he's nodding, he's clapping.
So the fact of the matter is, oh, good. Stephen, is that funny enough, Stephen D? Isn't it an unbelievable, unmute Steve Blackburn. He's the guy with, right there. So, isn't it a great book?
Yeah, you know, we bought that after we saw Brendan at GoPro.
Yeah, well, and you're only on chapter 2. You gotta.
No judgment. No judgment.
You gotta ramp up the reading speed, buddy. That's unbelievable. That's very good.
Working on our network marketing business. You know, we read in between times.
Yeah, give it about. And the truth of the matter is, so you know, and I can't show you. I could show you. Yeah, I'm going to show you. I can show you. The truth of the matter. Oops. The truth of the matter is even though I have this book in my hand, this is my reading book in the mornings. So as you can see right there at the top of it, this is the book, but I'm really listening to it versus reading it. And the only way that I can develop that, and then I come home and I make sure I have the hard copy. James, I got a bounce that's unbelievable here. Or Marianne. I got a squeak that's terrible. And I got 4% left on this computer, so what you're doing is far more important, James. What was I going to say to you, wonderful people? Yeah, so I listen to the book, and then I come home and highlight or jot down in it what I remember. But the reading is the most important part. So, I mean, the listening is, I have to get through them. So on my way, I walk out the door, I walk down to Cafe Luna, and then over to my AA meeting, and that's when I try to listen to this stuff, because otherwise I won't. And so it's either that or it's something spiritual or an Eric Worre video or something like that. But that's how that whole thing rolls. So that's how come I am so completely caught up with everybody on what they're reading, and no one can believe I read that much. And that's how I do it. It's kind of the Tom Chenault secret that I've never told anybody before, and now I just told all of you. Okay, so my opinion of the event was pretty good. And somebody left the event, and I'm going to read you this without those people understanding that. What do you got here? Yeah, it's going to work. Perfect, I think. I might be charging. Okay, good. Okay, so here's an email I got this morning from the training I got over at, and I want you to see this because it's pretty cool. Forward, sent. Okay, so somebody told me that Facebook or something, I spoke out and I said we need 10,000 leaders. So this person wrote me, "Hi Tom, I'm writing you this because I want and need your help. My dream has become a leader in longevity, speaking on the stage, telling my story. I truly believe in my heart that once I can just get better at the main thing that holds me back, I can give a lot of hope to a lot of people. Being the shy, soft-spoken, afraid to speak my name in front of the room, never been successful at much anything, and horrible communication skills, I'm the last person anyone who could think could make it. I really want to be a leader more than anything." That was all in caps. "And I'm reaching out to you to ask you if you will help me in the area I lack in. I talk to people all the time about longevity, and I get no one interested, so I want someone to practice and coach me and give me advice on speaking with people. I'm just not doing it right. I'm not having the right tone posture. So will you or Denice help me that I'll come down to Longmont?" And I said this was after the seminar, because I think that's really straight, really authentic, really true about this person. I know this person. And I wrote back to her complete upline and her, "You are correct, but call me after you've gone through Longevity University, joined and are doing 65 days in a wake up, and learn the copy shop interview as written on contactmapping.com. And I wrote, "There will be a test." And the reason I said that is then I wrote to her, "I tagged your support team to keep you accountable. It's 90% you, 10% us." That is, I guarantee you, that's a brilliant email. But I'll guarantee you that the person that got that's going to go, no. I have to go down there and have him wave the magic wand and make me that. But guess what? It can't be that way. It's got to be you deciding. And I talk about this all the time in my AA book right now. This is important stuff. Until somebody wants to quit drinking, you got no chance of getting them sober. Until somebody wants some help, you got no chance of helping them. There is the correlation between Alcoholics Anonymous and the correlation between this is pretty important. That's why I'm doing this. I want you to hear this because it's just crazy. Don't move. I know I'm boring you. The spiritual life is what we have to live. That wasn't what I was looking for. Doggone it. One more second. I know we're here. When you discover a prospect for Alcoholics Anonymous, find out all you can about them. If they don't want to stop drinking, don't waste time trying to persuade them. You may spoil a later opportunity. The advice is given for his family also. They should be patient, realizing they're dealing with sick people. If there's any indication that they want to stop, have a good talk with the person most interested in them. The point I make to you guys is it's the same thing. You can't push the pig through the python snake. And the people that you're talking to all the time that you are thinking are the best prospects in the world probably are. There's only one person that doesn't know who that they are, and that person is them. Does that make sense? Give me a person who is desperate over a person with everything else any day of the week, because that person with desperation is my person. I talked to a guy today who was in the bathtub, and he was popping the blisters on his hands, and he couldn't even close his hands. He was sunburned. He was absolutely sick and tired of being sick and tired. And he was finally ready to give up the menial job to go do this the way that I did it. And I promise you, you don't have to be me. Just do it the way I did it. And Cheryl Morley and I spoke this morning, and she'll tell you this, that she's like, I'm looking right at her face. Did you listen to my voicemail, Cheryl? I know you did because you texted back. And what I said to Cheryl was, this regional that we just had in Estes Park, Colorado, should have had at least 8,000 people there. The one that Luis Arias is doing this weekend should have at least 8,000 people there. The regional that we're going to do with Cheryl Morley on the East Coast should have 8,000 people there. The one that we do down in Florida or somewhere down in that neck of the woods in the South should have 8,000 people there. And the only way that we're going to get 8,000 people is to get 7,000, and then 6,000, then 5,000, then 4,000, then 3,000. Lewis will have 2,000 there this week. But if Scott continues to do his opportunities, his deals, and Scott's got all his people at his meeting, and then Corey Gould's got all his people at his meeting, and Cheryl's got all her people at all her meetings, and Corotto's got all his people at all his meetings, I promise you it has to shift, and it's one team, one dream. And Cheryl is going to have a huge event with either Corey or I at the point, and Lewis is going to bring his people, Scott's going to bring his people, I'm going to bring my people, and we are all going to be singing out of the same hymn book, and we're going to take over this country. We're going to take over this world. It's going to be an unbelievable, systemized, one team, one dream culture. So when you guys are all going, Damian Williams, I love you. Damian Williams is one of the coolest kids in the world. And do you guys know what he calls me? Which is just phenomenal. Do you know what he calls me for my nickname? Pops. He calls me Pops. And Damian, I need you to meet Cheryl Morley. She's my upline. Damian's in Baltimore, Maryland. He is one of the cutest men with the most amazing story that you're ever going to hear in your life. And here is another guy that was just exactly like that email earlier. 2 interviews a day, 1 3-way call, get on these calls and take it to the moon. I want to. Yeah. And yeah, I'll clip out the Gift of Desperation email. I will clip out Jennifer Salzman, actually is sitting right across from me, and she is working out of contact mapping and the Longevity World Headquarters today, which is very, very exciting. So she's had to put up with, in fact, you could just come over here and talk to me.
Me?
Yes. This is hilarious. So you guys know I walk my talk. Put me on the main screen if I'm not there, please.
Hi, guys.
So this is Jennifer. Have you run into any homeless people?
Yes.
Have you run into any complete indigents that just hang around here all day long?
There'd be people who just love to hang out here. And I said, are you into longevity? No. This is a new man cave. Don't tell Tom.
It is hilarious. We are a coffee shop without the cash register.
Right.
So every misfit that I can think of, and I use that word endearingly, they just come here and hang out, don't they?
Yes.
And it is so
Yes,
wonderful.
Yes.
And it's just the most beautiful thing because that's what we're all about. It's not a bunch of billionaires trying to be trillionaires. It's not a bunch of thousandaires trying to be 100,000aires. It's a bunch of human beings trying to be better human beings. And if I can give them free vitamins, if I can give them free nutrition, most of them, I mean, the guy, and I'm not going to embarrass it. Yeah,
John and John.
Yeah, the one John.
John and John.
The one John lives in his van. And we have him park it right here at the office. So it's like we have built-in security. But I love the guy. He's even got a key to the place and he makes sure that the building's secure. But we just try to do everything we can to make sure we're serving other human beings. But what I want to say to you guys about that is that's who you want to be. And what I want to say to you about that is if you're out there just chasing down and trying to make everybody a millionaire, you're going to miss the most beautiful thing in life, which is the John and the people like that. And they may never be a candidate for network marketing. It may never happen. That's okay with me. But you know what? They're out there on the street every day, and 2 things could happen. Number 1, they're going to stay healthy and alive. And number 2, they just might run into somebody that they can send me and turn somebody into business. So there is no reason in the world not to love those guys like crazy, then love Mark, Jay. I know a massive love for the people in the prison system like Denice and I went through a couple of days ago. And, just find you guys, we are seconds and inches from being in the same boat as those people in the hospitals, as those homeless people, or the people in the prisons. And we need to remember that. But between here and there, I want you to understand something. You've got a business to build, and you don't have time to wait. You've got to build it. We're going to hold up our end of the deal. We want you to hold up yours. So I am going to build. I'm not going to build it. I'm going to have one of my bright people that are young that want to do this build a test for Longevity University. So we can give you the test to see if you have passed to go to the next level. And the next level will be, now you want to be mentored by somebody that's really killing it here. You have proven to us by going through 65 and a wake up and taking the test and passing it, that you are truly interested in learning this so you can teach this. Does that make sense to you? Yeah, Cheryl wants to ask a question.
Yes, I do. I have a real quick question that at Leadership Mastery, which by the way was fantastic. I think I've said that maybe enough times now, but you guys were absolutely awesome. Tom and Denice, I was really I don't know. I think I was just really felt so blessed to be there. But here's my question. So are you going to, which by the way, I think it's a great idea to have this little test for people who are going to be going through the Longevity University. Now, is this going to be after they buy the CEO pack? They've decided they want to do the business, and then you're going to have them do that? Because at Leadership Mastery, I was under the impression that Scott says he has them do that before. Go ahead.
Yeah. And Scott contradicted me on about 5 different levels. And I contradicted Scott on about 10 different levels. And here's what I will tell you about that. Don't let it worry you in the slightest. You've got to go with your intuition of what's best for the person across the table from you.
Okay.
That's where you got to go. And it's easy for me to say, okay, listen to me, you son of a gun. I'm not even going to let you sign up for a CEO pack unless you go through this, and this. And they're going to say, good, I'll see you on the 5th of never. I'm not going to do it. Or they're going to sign up for the CEO pack. I've got them a little bit pregnant longevity, and they're going to be moving it. So there's 2 schools of thought there. And I'm going to tell you that your school of thought is the one that you have the best luck with. You have no boss here. We are your trusted servants. That's what we are. What are you eating, Devin? Unbelievable. I feel like I'm at one of those Japanese restaurants, man. He's chopping, and look at that. There you go. That's beautiful. So anyway, that makes sense to everybody? You guys follow that one? So the key to this, and we're going to try to all get on the same page here. I know that Luis Ariaza sells a whole lot of CEO packs at his opportunity meetings, so there's no way on earth that that's going to be going. But at the end of the day, we're going to get it to a point where it is a pretty congruent message, and it's going to take some work, and it's going to take the work from Avelia and Denice and you, Cheryl, and Juliet Fardulis and the leaders that are really, really putting the points on the board. Another thing I want to talk about, because I've been giving great thought to the TAC trip, and I looked at the parameters of the TAC trip because Alex told us if we didn't. And one thing you have to do is have record volume from last year. I'm not allergic to that. One thing you have to do is you have to hold your highest rank. I'm not allergic to that. Now, I don't know that that works for a lot of you, because there were some CEO pack specials out there that had everybody ranking without a whole lot of real volume and a whole lot of real stuff. So we kind of put the emphasis on making the rank, but everybody bounced back to the old previous rank. Now they're coded up there, which is good news. But I do want everybody to realize that I believe wholeheartedly that if they're going to have a top achievers club and an incentive trip, that the parameters behind that should be to incentivize you for really, really working hard in your business. And I know that's kind of an unpopular deal, because people are telling me a lot that they feel it's unfair, that they're not qualified, they're not going to be able to qualify, and but I promise you, that's kind of what incentive trips are for. That's kind of why they do them, is to make darn sure that that we're recognizing right behavior, and keeping your rank is right behavior, bringing new people into your business is right behavior, and doing all that. So who's got questions or anything for me before we go to that wonderful game that we always love to play called Let's Call Keith Richter? So what are we going to, anybody got a question? Anybody want to ask me anything? Peggy Gleason, saw your nice notes. Jennifer, you're right across the room, so you don't need to raise your hand. What do you want to know?
I wanted to know if you thought that the reason that Scott said that about what he said about the CEO pack was because of just making sure that the leg was going to be strong, and that's what it was about.
Yeah, I guarantee you, he has.
You have to repeat that because we couldn't hear.
Her question was, maybe Scott said that because he wanted to ensure whoever that CEO pack coming in, that leg was going to really, really be strong. But I know most of you have sold CEO packs to people. And if they bought a CEO pack and then they went and didn't do anything, that's their loss. It's it's on them. And if you make them go through all that training before they get to the CEO pack, I would believe that your CEO pack numbers are going to go down dramatically because people are inherently a little more lazy than that. I bought some people some LinkedIn scholarships, and the LinkedIn scholarship, before you could get the scholarship, before you could do it, there were all these videos that were like real hard for people to do, and that kind of took a little bit out of everybody's tails in a hurry. And I will not mention one of them's named. I'm not going to mention names. One of them rhymed with Tame Earl Roar, and the other one rhymed with Harry and Bee House. So anyway, but I'm not going to. And the one guy that did it is smiling at the camera, and that is Daniel Rhymes. So I want to publicly acknowledge that little bad to the Bone Boy, who incidentally, give him a round of applause. He went on a field trip with a bunch of 3-year-olds today. So that was pretty cool too. So that's exciting stuff. So good job, Daniel.
Well, can I just say something too? Going back to what Jennifer was talking about, and as far as Scott saying, have them, that you do the 3-way call after they go through Longevity University. As he was saying that, like, I heard behind me, people that have been in longevity for years said, I haven't gone through that whole thing. Have you? I mean, that was the murmur through the audience.
Yeah.
And so in my mind, if you expect somebody who doesn't see the value in spending hours upon hours doing that, then I think that's a really hard ask. We have people that have been in longevity for a really long time that haven't spent the hours upon hours to do that. And which is crazy in my mind. If you haven't gone through it, stem to stern, as Tom would say, then, like, really, are you really taking your business that seriously? Like, these are the training materials that we're using. And one of the things that the millennial panel said over and over and over is that they love systems. And they finally have a system with Longevity University that they can say, do this, do that, do this, And I would say, each part of it, check back after they're done. Say, okay, what do you think about that? How, tell me what makes sense, what doesn't make sense, and talk through it, and then assign them the next segment to do, and do it like that. But yeah, it takes some time, that's for sure. But they're really well done, and they're really not that long. But I even found the compensation videos very, very helpful.
Yeah, but here's the deal with that, you guys. It's a little bit like the Alcoholics Anonymous conversation that we had a few minutes ago. You can't force anybody to do anything. You have to wait till they want to. And your job on this call is to get them to want to. So your job is to create that desire, and they're going to do anything to get there from here. So your leadership is going to be in that conversation to have those people realize that that's the most important thing, and keeping the main thing the main thing. And every one of you have that kind of gas in your tank to be able to do that. I am positive of it. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. Does that? I hope. All right. What else? Anybody else got a question? Anybody else got a comment? Anybody else got anything before I take this thing down the court? Okay, so that one.
Hey, Tom, it's Steve.
It's who? Stevie?
Steve Blackburn. Hey.
Hi, Steve.
So at Leadership Mastery, I heard a couple of things from Scott, and then when Joel unveiled the YGY Builder app that are different. One is, Scott said, have your prospects go through Longevity University first. They'll learn about the comp plan. They'll choose the CEO pack instead of the $25 membership, and it'll be easy peasy. You just ask for their credit card. Okay, so that's one way. And then I got the app, and I've been very active on the app since Leadership Mastery. We have 22 people going through it right now, 54 clicks through different videos, but the app is set up slightly different. It actually takes you, and you saw this when Joel presented it, it actually takes the prospect to the, after introducing the Dr. Wallach video, it takes them right to the enrollment before YGY University. And once they enroll in something, whether it be a $25 or a pack, then it scoots them into Module 1 of Longevity University. Just curious to know your and Denice's opinion, one way or the other, about that process.
I was playing like I was dumbstruck with the question. Okay, so here's the deal. I love automation. I love human beings more. And I know that there's got to be human beings in any process. And people that join you with a click are going to leave you with a click. So the name of the game is, it's called YGYbuilder.com. YGYbuilder.com. And it's got some strong assets in it. And there's a case to be made that you can go in there and have somebody click in. You can pour that name in there, start popping them some emails and stuff like that. And all of a sudden you're going to look up and you're going to say, holy mackerel, this person enrolled, they bought a CEO pack, they're on Module 1 and they're going down the road. But I think that's going to be a far and few between conversation. And I think 99% of the people that you bring into this business, they're going to stick in this business, are going to be sticking because they're tied to a human being called Steve Blackburn or a human being called D Blackburn. And I never want you to lose that human touch via automation. What that does is simplifies the process. It isn't the process, I hope. And I bought it too, and I put all my contact information to it. And about like James and Marianne, that's just, I should have known it by now by the time I got to this call, and I have not taken the time to learn it like you've learned it. But I do, I do like the fact that when somebody clicks on a video, and it happened to me, when somebody does click on a video or a web page, I get a note. Guess what? Steve Blackburn's inside your YGY Builder organization. He's looking at this video, so I can call him back and say, what'd you think? So I don't mind that component, but it's got to stay human being, Steve. Did that answer the question? All right. Roxanne Rice. Rock, how are you, buddy? What do you want? Sorry, you're talking, but they got you muted. And there's a bunny on Keith Richter, and I saw Emily laying on the couch, which was exciting. Hello, Rock.
Hi. Yeah, I use the YGY Builder, and personally, it doesn't work on the phone. It only works on a computer, so that was my first problem with it. Otherwise, the technology is great, but I got to go along with what you said, Tom, and just say that the best is always the phone, and it's the relationship with people, and it's finding the burn, it's finding the reason, it's finding the dream, it's finding the why. I had probably one of the most talented guys that I've ever shown this to, and got him plugged in at about 3 levels deep in one of my legs, and he hasn't done anything since the beginning when he first lived in our house in our program. And today he is now ready because he just found out from his doctor that he's going to die in less than a year. And he's got about 1/8 of his liver left. And, now the nutritional message that he had when he was with us, and he was, signing people up and was excited and was sharing the message, and he worked it at the fair, and he really shared the mission for health that we have. He lost that. He got comfortable with some other things that came into his life, but now all of a sudden there's a reason he wants to live. Yeah. And so I guess, we talked this afternoon, and the dreams that he has, outside of that wanting to live is, the same as mine, and that is to build ministries. But ministries take money, whether you like it or not, and so to fund my dream, I got to have more money, or otherwise I'm going to be digging ditches and putting blisters on my hands, like you said. So I am sick and tired of being sick and tired of.
I did not say your name. Nobody even knows I was talking about you. You
Well,
whack.
it's me, and I'm going to be sharing this testimony of hitting bottom and saying, enough is enough, and I'm not going to just struggle doing all the physical hard work. Yeah, it's stuff that I would have done on a faith farm anyway, but I'm honestly doing it right now, not just to build a faith farm, but to be able to pay the rent. And it's not fun. And I've been an executive in businesses. I've done marketing and all that kind of stuff. I don't want to go back to a corporate America sales job so that I can go ahead and make other people millionaires over and over and over. My reason of why, I'm doing this is the number one thing that I have to remember is I've got to find other people's reason of why they're going to do it and let them pick their passion. And the questions I have to ask in the close are going to make all the difference.
Okay, sorry. All right, beautiful. All right, Rock, we love you, buddy. And thank you. Can you guys hear me? Somebody nod. Okay, so yeah, and listen to that. So here you have Rock. This morning he was in despair because he did not want to get any more blisters. He got centered spiritually, emotionally, and opened it up and said, come on, God, help me out here. And the next thing you know, this guy pops back into his life from 2 years ago. You guys, and here's what I want you to, and I don't know if I said this earlier about thinking, did I say this about thinking about yourself? Most of the time we run around thinking about ourselves. And the advice from most people is to think about other people. And I don't even want you to do that. I want you to think about God, because God's got it. And if you get that, you got it. And that's a hard one to get, and it doesn't really make any sense. But here's how I want it, the order I want it to go to: God, other people, and you. And if you can do that and put yourself thinking about yourself, the only thing I think about all day long is me. And I'm telling you what, it makes me so tired. It's unbelievable. I'm exhausted. And I go, Denice will go, what are you so tired about? And she'll think I'm thinking about some problem in my life, but basically I'm thinking about myself. And that's why I'm so exhausted. And if you just get out of there and go to other people, you're going to be a lot happier. And it's going to make a bigger difference. And you're going to get out of your head and into other people's hearts. So please do that. That's critically important. Okay, so here's a woman. You guys want me to call somebody? Okay, Elsie, yes, there's the sign, yes. Okay, so here's the call. This is pretty funny. Okay, so this is a woman who wants to meet me tomorrow, and on the behalf of somebody else that asked me to do it. And so she wants to meet me on Thursday in Denver. And so I'm going to run down there. I'm going to pick up the Vita car and have lunch with this woman because she's downtown. And so if she gets into her story, I'm going to hang up because the story isn't public information. So if I'm going to steer her away from getting too crazy about why she's in the boat she's in. But she's got a doctorate in education, and is a rock star woman who deserves a great life. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to interview her a little bit because I really haven't had time to do that very much. And tell her I'm going to come down Thursday to have lunch with her. You guys okay with that? So that's the backdrop, or is that too far down the road for it to be interesting for you? No? Okay.
Don't show her name.
I didn't, did I? I don't even know. I won't. I better erase it. And this is so new that Tom, I can't do Thursday. I have
Oops, scratch Thursday.
No, I can swear she told me Thursday. So I better, I'm a terrible network marketer.
You better read the text message.
When in doubt, no, you stop thinking. I hit send.
Hello?
Hello, Margot. It's Tom Chenault. I'm Joe's buddy.
Yeah, how are you, Tom?
I'm doing great, and I'm going to come down there Thursday if you'll still have lunch with me.
Yeah, what time are you thinking, buddy?
How about 11:30 a.m. I went and looked at you on LinkedIn and know far more about you than I did, and I'm more excited than ever to talk to you. So Thursday, 11:30 at your favorite restaurant.
Okay, we're, thinking, so I'm downtown,
Okay.
and we can do anything off of, like, there's pretty much everything, it's downtown.
Yeah.
So, we can do something kind of close, like, what about the Thirsty Lion?
That would be fine. Here's what I'm thinking I'm going to do. I think I'm going to ride the bus down. And,
Okay.
and so that will have me at the light rail. So what I'll do is I'll call my daughter, and you're right by Union Station, you told me, so I'll find some really cool place for lunch, and we'll go to someplace right there by Union Station, and then I'll hop on the light rail, go down to Inglewood, and pick up a car I need to pick up. Is that okay with you?
Yeah, well, the Thirsty Lion's right at Union Station.
That's so perfect. So if you'll text me the name of it, and
Okay.
that'll be perfect, and we'll see if we can help you reinvent your life if that's what you truly want, or whatever I can do to serve you. That's my number one goal.
Okay, that sounds great. So 11:30 Thursday.
Okay, 11:30 Thursday it is. I'm on my way, and I can't wait to see you.
Okay, I'll see you on Thursday, Tom. Thank you.
All right, bye-bye. Okay, she felt a little busy to me. And I had like 9 of you telling me to turn the phone number away from the screen. So I was like, I had all kinds of private messages. So I was concentrating on those 2. So please, none of you call her or text her, because I'll get killed. So that's good. And all of you that told me to do that, to turn the phone away, I truly want to thank you, because I love you more than anything in the world. And you're beautiful, especially if you're wearing bright red lipstick and you have glasses on and blonde hair and a black shirt with no sleeves. So do you guys want to see Denise, what's the name of the lady I contact mapped yesterday that I have her picture in the phone? So here's what happens to me. Okay, so here's what happens to me sometimes. Oh, here's the last book. I tried to get this picture for you while I was driving.
There's Angelica. Hi, Angelica.
Oh, Angelica.
Hi.
So this book's called The Go-Giver, and I'm just in the process of, you can see it there. I just got that, but I can't find it. We lost it here at the office already. But that's what I'm going to read after I get done with Brenda Bouchard's book. And that's by Bob Berg, and it's his brand new one. It's not even published yet.
Oh.
So that's another cool thing about my radio job, is I get all of that. But here is a contact map gone bad. So all of you that think my life is so perfect all the time. Oh, I deleted it. She was so mad.
Wait, Angelica has something to say real quick.
Oh, wait, let me see. Where is she?
Oh. Okay, so my mom told me today that I should work for her, that I am going to be working for her to get a horse.
To get a tortoise? You want a tortoise?
No, a horse.
What? Who in the world wants a tortoise?
My cousin has one.
What, a tortoise? That's that's great to see you, Justice, but you need a haircut.
I know.
Okay, so I want to hear.
That's awesome, Angelica.
No, it's not.
Horses. Once you get the horse, can I come ride with you?
Yes.
Okay, good.
Horses eat hay.
I know.
And so here's what I want you to do for 30 seconds. Sing us something. That was too funny.
You don't want to sing something?
She wouldn't sing. The girl sings like a bird.
Oh, no, better than a bird.
And no, none of you can. Denise, why don't you sing something in her place?
Yes.
We would, Angelica, if I sang everybody would hang up right now. It'd be terrible.
Okay, so that lady's, I'm just scrolling through my phone of people. Okay, so do you guys want to hear a guy? So this guy I met in you guys know what Times Square is in New York City? Everybody this kid knows is in jail or has trouble. Everybody. And he is the nicest kid you ever want to meet in your life. He's the only one in his family that went to college. And he just texted me and said, Tom, I've got a business proposal for you. So he's going to try to pitch me on something, and I'm going to spin him back if it's going to be fast. Do you guys want me to do that or not? Okay. So literally everybody you talk to, that's how we do it. He's the coolest looking guy. Hakeem Rayside. I met him at Starbucks.
Hello?
Hey, Keem, what are you doing, buddy?
I'm good. I'm in my house with my friends.
Okay, so you got a business proposal for me. What do you want? Is it something you can do what's it about? Money, multi-level marketing, what?
I was thinking about a beauty salon store.
You're going to go, you're thinking about being a salon, you're not going to buy a beauty salon.
No, not buy one, but I don't have the money for it though. Like, I was thinking about it. I just do it right now. Hold on, sir.
All right.
Probably get a little location, like a spot where, there we go. There you go. Okay. Is a salon store name, picture perfect, your signature after every client's like cut or after they get their hair done. The individual gets a free professional picture. Have them shout out the shop on social media. I'm trying to have like a barbershop and / hair salon, including a small area for females to get their nails done as well. I would love to have space for a spa, but it might be too much. And maybe Riddle, but if we have the right location and the right people in charge, it can like probably go far.
Okay, so here's what I want to do. You're with your friends. I want to talk to you. You know, I sent you Rich Dad, Poor Dad. That was one of the books I sent you, right?
I never got the book, bro, sir.
Okay. You got to send me your address at college again. I think I've sent you 2 sets of books, once to your house and once to, I'd have to look back, but I'd lay you odds. So either you got to open your mail or we got to send it to a safer place. But I am telling you, I haven't met too many kids in my life that I thought didn't have more potential than you. You have got it going. And if that salon idea is a good idea, that's great. But if I can help you with a better idea, or have you come out to Colorado and be an intern for me for a month or 2, I want to help you change the world, because I know what you did with your family. I know how you fought against everything in your community to even graduate from high school in 3 years. And you are my man.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I mean, I'm out of school this summer right now. I'll go back the second week of August. I mean, if we could get the internship that up to in the progress I'm in.
Yeah, let me think about that a little bit. I will call you back, and then I'm going to Malaysia Monday, but I'll call you before I leave. So if you see me, pick up the phone, okay?
All right, no problem.
All right, hug your mother. I'll see you later. Okay. That kid I met at Starbucks. But did you notice how I acted like we were old? You know, I want to partner with that kid in his life. That's what I want. Because I recognize good early, and that kid's good. So that's the same. No, he's not a barber. Oh, so that was a private message. Yeah, no, he's not a barber.
That was not a ridiculous question.
I didn't say it was. It was a private message. I didn't say it was ridiculous.
I was just wondering if he has a background in.
No.
Okay, got it. Oh, brother.
All right, let me see. Oh, brother what? Oh, brother, where are you? 525. Okay, I got to find one more. Those were terrible. So basically, I'm going through my phone with people that aren't in longevity yet, which is few and far between. Okay, I'm going to really scroll down. Dear Tom, The cardiology department has tried 3 times to call you. I don't think we want to call them.
Hey, honey, while
What?
you're scrolling, can you answer this question real quick though?
What?
These Malaysia flights are booked, and I should book the one ways to.
We don't know that. I haven't got confirmation, so stay put on that for now.
All right, good. Okay.
All right. Okay, you guys. I don't see anybody. Give me one more minute to see if there's anybody here that I want to call for you. Okay, so this guy is a dear friend who is so full of bola. It's unbelievable. He's perfect. And the reason I thought of him is because he owns a barbershop. His ex-wife, his new wife owns a barbershop. So I'm going to ask him if I can give him. What are you doing, Ron the Con?
I'm mapping.
You're contact mapping?
Julie might have bought the version, the practice version.
Well, that's good. It's going to launch tomorrow, and that's going to change your life. But between here and there, I was talking to a kid. I met a kid in New York City who was one of the smartest, sharpest kids. He's a college student I've ever met. And he was working at a Starbucks and supporting his whole family. So he just called me and told me that he wants to get in the salon barbershop business in some way or another in New York City. So I got to thinking about that, and I thought, who do I know? So I popped into my phone, my contact mapping thing, and I put entrepreneur, then I put heart the size of a basketball, then I put barber, then I put salon, and then I put people that I love, and I hit the button, and your picture popped up. So if this kid's got a decent idea, would you think your wife would help me figure out if it's got any legs? Just as a favor to me?
She kind of took the barbering to a whole new level in the city of Green.
I know it. So she's the perfect girl for this kid to talk to. And if it's a bad idea, he'll go back to, I think I'm going to bring him out here for a month and just kind of mentor him because he's 19 years old and I just love what he stands for. And if he is, I'll either fly my airplane up or I'll drive him up and have him meet you guys. Is that okay?
Yeah. I tell you, I had a buddy that started a massage therapy business in Loveland.
Yeah.
A year and 3 months ago. Jeff Bernhardt, he was in our downline.
I remember him.
Anyway, Jeff started on the call massage, and now he's doing 400 massages a month.
He does 400 massages a month?
12 people.
Oh, good.
Oh, my God. I'm like, yeah, I know he did it. That's what you're like. I used to tell everybody, Julie does 500 men a month. Oh. No, I'm just kidding.
That's hilarious. All right. You've got a terrible speakerphone on your phone.
I do?
Yeah, you sound like you're drunk or you're eating marbles.
No, we're just finished.
All right. Okay, so the last thing I want to say. So if I get this kid hooked up and he goes crazy, you might be back in the multi-level marketing business. So know that's coming too.
Come up later. Call, get him our information and write for you.
All right, you got it, baby. Don't be stealing my leads either. I don't want him in the alliance business or alliance or whatever you call that thing. Yeah, I wish you were in Amway. I love you with all my heart, man. You're the greatest. Bye. Okay. So that's a perfect conversation. That guy is a great guy. And he lived in Green Bay. He used to make about $8,000 a month with me in another network marketing company. And then it went out of business and he swore he'd never do it again. Until the day comes where I've got somebody that I'm going to put underneath him and he's going to sign up in about 4 seconds. because that's what people want to do. So that's all you're doing, you guys. But you've got to pick up the phone and call people. I took that interview as far as I could right there. I took Hakeem as far as I could right there. I took Margot as far as I could. Does that make sense? I hope. Do you feel like you got your money's worth, Emily? Yes, you do. Good girl. Emily Richter, I'm looking at you. All right. Anybody else got any questions? Anything I can add? Anything I can help with? Too much work, joined Tom and said. Come on, this was kind of a boring hour. I didn't do a very good job, I don't feel. Anybody got anything? Okay, let's go out, Jennifer. What do you want to know?
I just want to say, I don't want to know anything. I want to acknowledge that you just did not try to change that guy's dream, but to serve his dream. You didn't try to get him away from what he wanted to do. You found something to help him with what he wanted to do, to build trust. And at some point, you're going to see if he's a match for longevity. And that's what I wanted to say is awesome.
Yeah. Turn your microphone off. This is not a sprint. It truly isn't. It's a marathon. And I'm not trying to sign people up today. I'm trying to give people the chance to have a great life. Reggie Wigden, I love you, by the way. Dr. Lisa, I love you too. And you heard me say that we are going to build out Damien, we're coming to the East Coast. It's going to be crazy good. So know that, you guys. So I got to get out of here. I got my buddy Glenn Schultz. I got to do a little coaching. So everything is beautiful. Everybody have a nice night. Get in 65 and wake up. Cheryl, great job. Tell your little girl I love her.
Okay, I will.
Thank you for supporting us. This is your upline right here. Put her email address in the comments, will you please, Mayor? This is Cheryl. How committed to this crew are you?
Oh my gosh, seriously. Whatever you guys need, I'm super excited. And wait, I want to say one thing really fast, Tom, because this keeps popping into my mind. The thing that I love about you and the way that you do this is you don't try and talk anyone into anything, right? It has nothing to do with that. And I absolutely love that. I think I did that for years and years. And then if they didn't do what I wanted, then I would never talk to them again. And I mean, it was a big, it was just ridiculous. So now I love it. Whenever I hear you talk to these people on Tuesday night, I really get this feeling like, oh my gosh, he just really loves them, which I know you say that and I know you do, but it's just so amazing and really so neat to see it come out like that. So
look how many people pick up the phone and they don't say, who's this? They don't sound guarded. That Margot sounded a little guarded because she doesn't know me very well yet. But most of my friends are my friends and they know me. And they know my intentions are pure. I want to serve them. I don't want to pick their pocket. I just want, if they want, and when they're ready to partner, when their pain gets bigger than their pride, they're going to join me. It might take a while, but for me, and I know that most of you are going, yeah, Tom, you make a lot of money, so therefore you're not all this urgency. I am going to tell you, Ruth Ellen Sanchez, I'm going to tell you, iPhone Robin Bradford, I'm going to tell you, every one of you people, Lanny Sharp, that if you've got 130 people from 66 Days in a Wake Up, if you've got 130 names in your queue and you're following up on all those people, Robin Tanner and Steve and Dee Blackburn, all you have is this huge pipeline of people to serve. And you're not going to be looking like the deer in the headlights. I love, and by the way, this YGY Builder thing, I hope that I did give that an absolute 100% thumbs up. I hope you heard that. The whole progression is contradictory in its own way until all this stuff gets ironed out, and a lot's going on with Steve Wallach, a lot's going on with Lewis, Corey, Scott, all these five-star ambassadors, Cheryl Morley, where we're going to have this congruent message. But when you're dealing with human beings, congruent messages are wonderful, but that all lasts about 2 seconds because something always goes wrong. And you go back to, and it has to go back to the relationship. The guy that brought me Margot, Marianne, unmute. Are you there?
Yeah.
Okay, so Margot, the guy that brought her in was a guy named Joe. So Joe came over to the office a couple days ago, sat down. We walked him through it. He wants to build he's got a 5,500 square foot house. He is engaged he really wants to have a residual income to pay for his marriage to the woman and pay for the house. And he's successful in his own right as an insurance agent. So Adrian and I sat down with him. We had an unbelievably powerful conversation. And he said, I want to buy a CEO pack right now. And I said, no, I don't really think I want you to. I think I want you to wait a couple days. I want you to try these products, see which one you really want, and we'll figure it out. So we gave him some samples and he left. 2 days later, I called him on the phone. He didn't pick up, so I had Marianne call him. What happened then, Marianne?
Well, when I talked to him and talked to him about signing up, he immediately started asking me how much this was going to cost him on a monthly basis. And he said it was really expensive, which I thought was kind of interesting.
Yep. And then what happened?
And so then I didn't want to get into it too much because I knew, he was working with Tom. And so I let Tom know what his conversation was. And then Tom must have talked to him. And then he called me and said, I want to get a CEO back.
Okay. So then, don't move here.
Okay.
I want to read you guys something. Don't move. Stay here. Stay here. This is important. I got to find this quote. It just happened. I wrote, no deal. He asked me for something. I said, no deal. You gave Marianne a bunch of heat, about $150 a month, and buying the CEO pack. And he goes, well, I just didn't want to start until I get my procedure, but all came back normal, thank God. I wrote, everything we've got's a money back guarantee immediately. No prepay, no game show, no nothing. Had your procedure not come back normal, that's when you would have been needing nutrition more than ever. But you know that. And I'm a tad testy about this, as you can tell. And so he wrote back, holy cow. He said, that's exactly why I need to take your minerals. My body needs to stay healthy as long as I can for my age. And then again, I said something else. He says, I can't wait to get started on the minerals. I read the information you gave me. It's great stuff, and thank you. But I had to take that conversation back from this guy because he was clearly playing some sort of, I don't know whether it was a power trip or whatever. So I'm not telling you guys to lay down. This guy needs what we've got. He's got the money. He's got a desire, and I had already interviewed him. And somewhere between the time I sent him down the road to think about it for a couple of days, he got complete buyer's remorse. But I went and took that back. So he's coming over on Thursday to buy the CEO pack and get started on auto ship. But I'm not telling you to wait till the 5th of never. You got, somebody's got to be the pitcher here, and somebody's got to be the catcher. And that guy. And so what I'll lever him up on is the meeting with Margot on Thursday, and I'll call him up and say, I want you CEO qualified before we meet Margot, and we'll go down that highway. But at the end of the day, you do create the sense of urgency. At the end of the day, you do control the conversation. At the end of the day, you do have something they want. At the end of the day, they aren't doing you a favor, you're doing them a favor. So make sure you keep your power in the conversation. Does that make sense? And that's very, very beautiful. And Robin Bradford, you're much, much more beautiful than your older sister, Sue Ellen. So there you go. So unbelievable. Oh, and Marianne said that he did buy a CEO pack last Thursday, as he said he would. That's too funny. So I yelled at him for not doing that, and it was just the auto ship he was balking at. So that's the way it goes. I'll have to clean that up. All right, everybody.
No, I think you're right. You were right on what you
go did. Home. Go home, duplicate. I love. Now I'm going to do my buddy Schultz. Bye.
This is fun.
Thank you.
Guys. Bye. Bye.
Yeah. Have a good evening.
All right, you guys too.
Have a blessed